Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the NCAA and major conferences rule colleges can pay athletes, the impact that will have on college sports. Plus, the Federal Trade Commission is receiving pushback for banning non-compete laws. We'll look into the background of how those laws came about.
Plus, we are dry this evening, but that could change to go into this holiday weekend. The details on a possible strong storm threat coming up as Mountain News at 5:30 starts right now.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. It's been a beautiful day here in the mountains, and similar weather is expected tomorrow as Memorial Day weekend kicks off, but severe weather could return on Sunday, and that's why we are giving you a first alert today. Meteorologist Cameron Aaron is live at the Kentucky Mountain Laurel Festival in Pineville with more. Cameron.
Yes, Steve, you said it perfectly. No severe weather issues to go into this evening. Actually, the highlight of my day so far, some fantastic fried Oreos. That's heaven on a plate on this Friday. But right now, tracking some dry weather, some sunny conditions over in Perry County from Buffalo Mountain, and we are mild over at the mountain, up to 77 degrees. Also mild here in Bell County. So if you have plans to come on out to the Kentucky Mountain Laurel Festival, we are tracking some warm weather, up to 83 in Middlesboro, also in Harlan, up to 79 for London, also Somerset, 81 over in Estill County for Irvin at this hour. Up on first alert pinpoint Doppler, not much happening as we stay mainly dry to go into this evening. Could we see a stray shower, maybe a few downpours? It's possible, but for most of us, tracking some mainly dry weather to go into tonight, and those lows are mild in the middle 60s to wake up on your Saturday, and a copy and paste forecast on the way tomorrow. Possibly a few showers, but for most, we are dry once again under some more sunshine, some more warm weather as well, but a first alert for the potential for a few severe storms on Sunday. So very important that you stay weather aware to go into this holiday weekend. Also tracking a little bit of a cool down by this time next week. All of those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you. Obviously, the live entertainment also underway there at the festival. Well, large plumes of smoke could be seen rising over the Gaza border throughout the day. Criticism of Israel's strategy in the war in Gaza has continued to mount. On Friday, the top United Nations court ordered Israel to halt its military offensive in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. President Judge Nawaf Salam says the country's invasive strategy could lead to tons of destruction in Gaza.
The court considered that, in conformity with its obligations under the Genocide Convention, Israel must immediately halt its military offensive and any other action in the Rafah governorate which may inflict on the Palestinian group in Gaza conditions of life that could bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part.
Thousands of Israelis are also calling for hostages to be brought home. A new era in college sports may be here soon after a landmark agreement was made last night between the NCAA and the most powerful conferences. CBS's Bradley Blackburn explains.
When college athletes take the field in the fall of 2025, many of them could be getting paid to play.
A new model, revolutionary model in college athletics for schools to directly share revenue.
The NCAA and its 5 power conferences reached an antitrust settlement Thursday night, creating a system that allows each Division I school to budget up to $21 million a year to pay all their student athletes, both men and women. It also includes nearly $2.8 billion to be paid out to former athletes who sued over the use of their name, image, and likeness.
Even though people thought this case was going to settle, it's still kind of a monumentous occasion in college sports.
Midwinter is a college sports attorney.
With this decision, is there any difference between professional sports and college sports?
In my opinion, not really. The main difference between pro sports and college sports now and moving forward is college athletes are still going to class.
A judge still has to approve the agreement, and many aspects of it are yet to be worked out, especially how the pot will be divided.
It's a huge question those in college athletics are asking. Do you have to split these payments evenly? We don't really know.
For now, schools will have discretion on how to distribute payments to players who could have agents negotiating for them. A game changer in the world of college sports. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
The president of the American Psychological Association recently said that tech addiction is like a substance abuse disorder. 90% of U.S. adults and 96% of teenagers say they are online every day, according to Pew Research, and 46% of teens say they are online almost constantly. On CBS Mornings, psychiatrist Sue Varma says a person who spends even less time could still be addicted.
But the feeling is a loss of control over this, and the fact that you're not getting the same pleasure that you used to get from the same amount, so you keep doing it despite having negative consequences. That's when it's a problem.
She suggests being intentional about your tech use, not turning to it the first thing in the morning or the last thing at night, and create spaces in your day such as mealtime and yoga where you unplug. The Federal Trade Commission has been met with some opposition in banning non-compete laws, some large corporations saying it violates the Constitution. This ban could impact millions of Americans. WYMT Washington correspondent Ashanti Ford has been digging into the history of non-compete laws that legal experts say started to put limits on marginalized communities.
So after the Civil War, most slaves were freed and now able to earn an income for their work. But historians say that their former plantation owners didn't want them working on nearby plantations. And that's where legal experts say that non-compete laws started in America.
How can I, your hiring entity, control you after you leave me? How can I get you to give me something for nothing?
Matthew Leffler, also known as the armchair attorney, on what he says is the root to non-compete laws which date back to slavery.
You can go sell your labor, but nowhere near here. You can't go live in the same place and work for someone who's different than me. You have to work for me. And if you leave, if you don't want to work for me, you're going to have to move. And so we see this influx of people moving to different cities, different states, to an extent to escape the pervasiveness of what the South was like post-Civil War, but also because they were not legally allowed to work anywhere else.
Fast forward to today, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce disagrees with the ban and has since sued the FTC. The chamber is joined by several large corporations and Republican commissioners like Andrew Ferguson in voting against the ban. Ferguson issuing this oral statement saying the FTC does not have the power to nullify millions of existing contracts. But the director of public affairs at the FTC says they do.
We expect that when non-competes are banned, we'll see about 8,500 new businesses formed each year. We'll see $525 back in the pockets of almost every average working American, and we'll probably see close to 30,000 new patents filed.
However, due to all the legal challenges, it's uncertain when or if this ban will happen. In Washington, Ashanti Ford.
Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, Social Security could be facing long-term financial issues. How to make your plan ready to adapt.
And a first alert weather day for possible strong storms on Sunday. Then a late May cool down also on the way. Those details after this break.